We live in a time where the playbook that they gave us growing up, the last 10, 15, 20, this goes back to the millennials, like the playbook that was given on go to school, get the degree, get a job, it's not working anymore because everything is built on debt. Most of America is built on debt. We are indebted to ourselves. And that debt started by stealing other people's property and saying, this is ours. America has not addressed the spiritual debts that it is cost the world in, with slavery, the Native Americans being wiped out, the constant war and destruction that is encouraged around the world. Like, we became the superpower we were post World War II and really funding and fueling a war. Like, war makes money. War is great for profit. And in a country where we're driven by profit and closing margins, we don't care what the cost is. If the cost is zero, we'll take it because the profit's going to be 10x or greater. Like, think of the military industrial prison complex. Like, I'm not as well versed in all these things, I'm learning about it, but we have a bunch of kids that go off to war and don't gain much except for trauma and a closed mindset, perhaps. Then you have people that are being arrested and thrown into prison so they can work for pennies on the dollar. Everything is made so we can drain as much as possible. And the thing is, we are not the ones that caused this problem. So we are inheriting a problem that we will create a solution to. But the longer we wait for the people that are actively causing the problem to stop causing the problem, the worse off we'll be. So now is the best time ever in your life to consider, who do you want to be in the next 4 to 5 years? Who do you want to plant the seeds for to be in the future? There's so many people that have already taken on college debt, but I guess this really goes to the generations that are coming after now, because school is not going to be the only way to get a job and make money. There are going to be so many different trades and skills that can be learned because it's going to be new information that's not gate kept. I think about the hemp industry and how that is on the verge of really uplifting America and how much it can do, because I'm in that industry right now and it crosses into multiple industries. But think of something like paper. How much money is spent on paper, how much waste is generated from paper, how much cost savings could be generated from changing what paper is made out of. We could eliminate deforestation through making hemp paper and hempcrete and other hemp products. But in order to do that, the adoption needs to be there. And the adoption's not there because it's not currently being taught in schools. We're still dealing with federal regulations around what hemp is going to be, what it's supposed to be. The big issue around that is hemp is being used to be enjoyed in ways that they didn't intend because they wanted to keep the thing that they're profiting off of private. But the cat's out of the bag because somebody's not as well versed in the politics and the science of it. So we had the hemp industry born really in 2018, and it was the last 50 years it's been banned. So now we're at a point where people still don't know that hemp is something you can get involved in. It's something we could be actively pushing for regulation in. We could get rid of the alcohol industry, or not get rid of the alcohol industry, but we could put the alcohol industry in check by having less people consume something that is being known to kill people. We will have less people smoking tobacco and dying from cancer. Who knows what the problems that can come from cannabis are. But when you think of how it can be consumed in safer ways. If you are to consume a hemp beverage, that can give you the same effects not exactly 1-on-1, because you are missing some of the vital properties that are in the plant itself, but you start taking some of the beneficial aspects of the illegal plant and put it in a legal product. Now people are able to have access to things they've never had. We are actively needing to change how we see society and how it should be run. Like, it's the best time to make your skills turn into something you can make money from, and your passions to turn into something that could create joy for you. You know, someone like me, I have skills that allow me to talk to people and convey my thoughts and ideas, but it's not necessarily the most fun way of doing it right now. I'd love to make music, be able to speak my thoughts and really feel my thoughts out in the world, but that's not what's paying the bills. What pays the bills is my ability to articulate my love for a product that I can sell and make money from. So you need to find a way to take what you already have and get the most out of it, so that way you can set yourself up to learn about something that will pay you in the future. You need to learn how to be what you want to be. And there's just so much that goes into it, but generally, we were lied to. We need to change the narrative for ourselves in being told you can't make your dreams a reality. Like, the whole idea of a dream job, most people don't have a dream job, but they do have a dream reality, and work is likely going to be part of it. Even if we went back to the times of learning how to farm, farmers are holding up our country. They hold up the food supply that we don't even question where our food comes from, because they've made it so easy and had us all connected. But even then, there's work to create food. Like, life requires work and effort. Life requires you to take your will and enforce it on your reality. It's just part of the game. But if you're here and get to play the game, like, the game of life is something so special that many have been cheating the rest of us in, but there's more of us playing the game the right way than cheating. So if you are questioning what you can do, what industry you should get in, where are the jobs going to be, what can we do to prepare ourselves and our children, if you can start a business in the hemp industry, that's something you can now teach your kids how to do, pass on the skill. I mean, I'm talking, we could make hemp plastic. If you get into mycelium and mushrooms, we could talk about making, I think you could make coffins out of them, compostable stuff. Like, there's so many things that we are on the verge of really taking the best properties out of in terms of human benefits. Like, hemp and mushrooms are on the verge of changing the trajectory of what we can do. And it's going to also change how we think, because when alcohol is the main thing that's being consumed, with the access of all these other grains and wheats, we can really change what we're consuming to make us think differently. So it's really, really hard to continue living this world of lies that they do have our best interest in mind. Like, their best interest was profit. If they thought about that, then there was something they had to cut from us, and that was a lot of the profit. So a lot of the money is not circulating. It's not going to the right places. It's all being swarmed up so that way people can use it to buy up all the places that people really need. Like, it all seems extreme, but it's not extreme. It's just urgent that we actually realize what's going on isn't going to help us in 3 to 4 years. You know, we're looking at this presidency that's not even a year in, but this is the agenda of someone. It's greater than just this president. Like, we have had an agenda that's tried to keep growth and progressiveness in America. Most Americans at this point shouldn't care what you look like. but for some reason they can't identify you as an American or a human being. That is the wrong place to be looking at. It's not a matter of parties, but it's really a matter of, can you not have compassion for your fellow human beings and understand that we may have had things wrong at a time, but if we never choose to do right, it's not going to get better. So a lot of people are wondering, when is life going to change? When is life going to get better? It's going to be when you take action. We cannot delay action. Nothing costs you more than delaying action. In economics, there's the principles of implicit and explicit costs. Explicit costs are, what you are spending your time, what you're spending your money on. We can really follow the paper trail, but the implicit cost of things is the things you don't necessarily spend money on, but something like time. What you're paying attention to is your implicit cost. Like, are you paying attention to whatever drama cycle that is going on, or are you paying attention to how the world is changing around you? You can find your own interest in what's going on outside of your current world, but you have to get out into this new world and realize things are changing. So I'm someone who's been experiencing the change. I didn't go to school for very long. I went for a year. I've been working ever since. I've worked in industries that affect our daily lives: retail, the food industry, consumer, tech, whatever. I've worked in multiple different industries, sold cars, the auto industry. I've had a lot of different jobs and a lot of different experiences that have led me to have a much more well-rounded understanding of the world around us than had I gone the traditional college route and decided to be specialized in one area. Because not only are you going to specialize in mainly just a career path, it kind of specializes your interest in what everyone else is doing. But I don't have anyone else I'm really sharing my interest in, except for the communities that I learned so much from. So I'm kind of someone who's been experiencing this and has a little insight on how you don't actually need school, but you do need to apply yourself. Because I've continued to apply myself and learn about what's going on, and I'm not all the way there on how to change my life, but I'm changing things every day. And even learning about consumer debt and being not a victim, but a user of consumer debt, you learn how it helps you, how it hurts you, and a lot of people don't use it to their benefit. When you don't come from money, credit actually can help you leverage yourself, get into a better position. But when you over leverage, you may look like you're in a better position, but on paper, you're not in a better position. You're actually hurting. So consumer debt, all that, just building on fakeness, something that's not really real, it will collapse. So the house of cards that we built here will eventually collapse. But if you decide today, I'm going to stop subscribing to the old beliefs on what will be best for all of us, because a lot of it can be hateful, now you could really change your life and generations to come. Like, there was generations that came before us, generations that came after us. We live with generations now. Like, we need to keep thinking about who's coming after us and leaving something behind for them, something better. I always like to leave the place I came into better than I found it, if I can. I don't want to make things worse after spending time there. So anyone that is looking for some knowledge and education on what they could start to do to change their lives, give me a ring. It's time to go.